Hi, welcome to Tackle Tarts. We're at the canal again, in a different spot. It's where the boats use to turn around, so it's wider. It's known as the basin locally. It's where there's like a day boat that you can ride, and it comes up here and it turns round in here. I used to fish this spot quite a lot with my dad when I was a kid, just pole fishing and stuff, and I did have a few carp out of here, and hopefully there's still some around. The stretch up above is where I went and I actually caught carp out the canal, and hopefully the fish that are stocked in there, this is controlled by the same bit, so maybe they've stocked this bit, or if they haven't then maybe they've moved through the locks and down here. I've seen something show, not quite sure what it was, but it was a decent size enough to be either a decent sized bream or a carp, and so I'm quite happy about that. James is on his way. He should be here in about 20 minutes or something because he's walking. But yeah, so it's looking good. I've got my right hand rod out in I'll show you in a minute, but it's like a 4.5 foot bit. We've been down here before and plumbed it quite extensively and found several spots that we really like. Yeah, my right hand rod's in 4.5 foot, and that's where the canal starts to narrow again after the wide bit, right in the middle of the main channel of the canal. And then the left hand rod is actually in a gully. It's like the bottom goes from 3.5 to 4.5 and then back up to 3.5. And I think all the natural food's going to collect in the deeper water, and because we're using boilies, they're just going to roll down into it anyway. So I'll put that there. And that one's on a snowman. With a pineapple pop-up on it on the top, and then a Super K bottom bait, and then the right hand rod's got a solid PVA bag on it with a 2T pop-up balanced on a KD, so that's looking good. And also I'm going to show you the rig on my left hand rod, because there's a little tweak to it that really that should help you if you're stuck out when you're fishing and you suddenly want to use some tubing on your hook. Normally you use shrink tubing, but I've sort of when I've been fishing on my own without a kettle and stuff like that, just on day sessions, and I suddenly decide that I want to put a boiler rod out, and I like a bit of shrink tubing over the eye to make the hook kick over. So what I've decided to do is I get the silicone I use around the bend of the hook and just stretch it around the eye of the hook. Just use a longer bit. It seems to work perfectly well, and you don't need to steam it at all. It just it stretches around the eye and then hugs it so it stays on. So I'll show you that later, and hopefully when James gets here he'll set up, and James's spots are over to the left hand side of the swim. I'm on the right hand side of the swim. He's got one spot that's like a gravelly spot that we found that we were really excited about. It's really hard gravel, proper chunky, and it looks like something either has been feeding or the boats have scraped it out moving across it. And then there's another spot over near the far side which is about 3.5 foot. So we have got all the bases covered, and with 4 rods in the area I think that's plenty to hopefully try and bag us a carp if there are any around. So we'll see what happens. Right, this is the swim. My right hand rod is over here, in the middle of that channel down there, and that's in 4.5 foot. My left hand rod is out there in a deep gully. It's not a deep gully, it's 4.5 foot, but it's deeper than the rest of it. And that's where all the natural food collects, as I've said before, so that's where I put that there. And James's rods, one over in the middle, and then one on the gravel spot that's down there. So it's looking good, but we need a fish quite badly. But hopefully dogs will bring luck. Behind the brolly.
Bit of company.
Right.
He's chewing the lead.
Oh, good. Right.
I'm on a hill.
Hey?
I said I was on a hill.
On a hill. Yeah, so let's hope we get some screamers.
Okie dokie.
What the hell?
Got an orchestra going. Come on.
Poor thing. Right, well, James has left because he's bored and he doesn't like blanking. Can't really blame him, to be honest. It's pretty boring, but it's up to him at the end of the day. Well, I'm changing my rig on the right hand rod, which was on a solid PVA bag. I've had a boat go through since, and I wasn't about to tie another solid PVA bag, and then I thought, well, I could just put a small one on, a small mesh bag, and then I can dip it. And what I've done is I've just got the pop-up rig, a 2 pop-up there, size 10 curved shank, a number 1 shot, and that sinks really slowly. And then the coated up link, and that's fishing on helicopter rig. So I like that, and then it can spin round and round. That just makes sure that my hook link's going to be on top of the silt. It's not going to go in because the canals are just so silty, it's unbelievable. But right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bag of pellets like that, only small, and then hook that on. Hook it once and then twist it, and then it sits like that. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some tooty dip, which is in here, and it's really sticky and quite awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck that in there and get a good swirl around, and then I'm going to cast that out with all that stuff on it, which should be really awesome. Should kick off loads of attractors. It's oily, so it should kick off loads of attractors and hopefully it'll attract something into the swim. I'll get it cast out and see if I can catch something. I'll get it out. Right, on the spot. And then, because this is tackle tarts, I have to get the reel in the right position. Put the back lead on, because it's quite important, especially if you don't want to wind in every time a boat comes past. I'm using Corda's flying back leads as normal back leads, because I hate normal back leads because they always come off, and these hardly ever come off, and they're quite small, so they don't adjust the fight when you're playing a fish, because I hate back leads bouncing around all the time when you're playing a fish. So just slide that out. Make sure it goes into the same sort of depth as your rig, otherwise the boat's just going to cut through it anyway. There'll be no point in having it on there. Try and get this reel sorted. Alright, I just thought I'd show you what it looks like underwater. I don't know what it's going to give, but we'll try. It's been dipped in the dip, so just drop it in here. Yeah, PVA bag's just broken down, the pop-up's come off. Hook's come out of the bag and it's just split. And all that milky cloud. Looks awesome. Right, well, I've blanked, well, so far anyway. Got about half an hour left, and can't bother staying any longer. It's seems devoid of fish, this canal, other than up there, where we've had a few from, but it's absolutely useless. I hope you've learned a few bits, like how your glugged PVA bag works on the bottom, maybe. I don't know. But I've learnt one thing: don't come back here unless you've baited it up anyway. We might try baiting it up again and see what happens. But just coming here on a whim might not. Maybe should have just gone to Tanner's and caught some fish, so it'd be more interesting. But no, I've had a nice day. I've had my little friend, the Robin, back several times, and he's a nice little fella. And there's loads of little fry in here that I've been feeding as well. But yeah, it's been. I've quite liked it. I quite like fishing on here. It's a bit different from the usual, and but I don't think I'll be coming back very soon. I think next time we will be going onto the Royal George, or possibly somewhere different maybe, but I reckon it's going to be the Royal George. If it's not the Royal George, then James will have putted out of going and we'll be on Tanner's as usual. But to be honest, if I'm going fishing next time, I reckon it's going to be on the George, and then after that there should be a few more good videos, because I'm going on holiday at some point. Nice fish to jump then. I'm going on holiday to a couple of places that I'll be filming at, and hopefully that'll be pretty good. But today it's been a blank, and obviously if I do get one I'll show you, but I doubt I will do. But it's been nice and peaceful, and that's what fishing's all about, really. Catching a fish is a bonus. So it's goodbye from me at Tackle Tarts. James has gone, he said bye, so we'll see you next time, and hopefully next time we'll have a few more fish, and if it's on the George then we might get lucky and get a few, and I really do hope that happens. So see you next time.